Well, here it is, the final chapter in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin CGC Signature Series Submission Saga. Hey there, today I have a CGC unboxing video, and in this video I'm going to open up this box of CGC slabs that I submitted as part of the Kevin Eastman CGC Signature Series event. Now, what hopefully is going to make this unboxing a little bit more fun and interesting is this is actually part 3 of a series, so if you do want to go back and familiarize yourself with everything I've gone through with this submission, check out parts 1 and 2. In the first part, I went through and analyzed all of the costs and fees associated with participating in a signature series event and evaluated was it truly worth it to submit books into CGC for this event. And then in part 2, I showed how half of my submission got ruined at some point in transit. These were the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin books that I did decide to submit that made their way somehow, some way, from here all the way to Sarasota, Florida, into Kevin Eastman's hands and back to me, finally, once and for all. Now, with this submission kind of being what it is, I decided to not look at the grades. So this is the first time that I'll be revealing the grades to you and to me, where I can finally see what these books got. Now, I had gone through an entire assessment. I really thought that these specific books were worth submitting. I also was a little bit tired of storing the Last Ronin oversized magazine-style book, and really felt like it was easier for me to store them as slabs and display them than it was to keep them kind of loose. They ended up kind of sitting around in piles, and I wanted to once and for all go ahead and submit these, as I do believe that not only are they valuable Last Ronin books, but even more so with Mr. Eastman's signature. And then the last little bit of intrigue here is that when I sent in my original submission, I split my submission into 2 separate shipments. And I did that because I wanted these books to get the remark. So I paid extra to have Mr. Eastman add a remark to the cover of these books. And then I had a second submission that was just a straight signature, and that second submission was the one that got ruined by the post office. So I'm very, very excited, very interested, very nervous to see exactly which grades these books got, and I will show you the grade that each Last Ronin book got before I'll see it, and you can check out the remark. And as you see this final chapter in what is this Signature Series Saga, would love it if you could leave a comment on this video and let me know what you think. Was it worth it based on the values that I'm showing you? Or was the whole thing just so stressful that it's just not worth putting yourself through it? But I really want to see the grades of these books. So let's get this unpacked and let's go through the slabs of this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Last Ronin Signature Series submission. Okay, here we go. There were 5 books that made it all the way through the process, and I don't know the order, I don't know the grades, so I'm just going to kind of blindly unpack these and show you the grades. The books were well packed by CGC. It didn't come in their typical sort of taller box. It was more of a flat rectangular box, really well wrapped in bubble wrap, so hopefully there aren't any cracked slabs or anything having to do with reholders, because I really would like for this to be the final chapter in this saga. So let's take a look at the grades that these books got. We'll just go right from the top here. All right, so the first book that we have, I can't read the back because there's nothing on the back. Here is the first book, and we have an 8.5 of The Last Ronin, number 1. You can probably tell I'm already a little bit in disbelief. This was the IDW convention exclusive. I will check out the grader's notes and add them. Very cool remark Just really disappointed in the grade, 8.5 on this one. Hopefully this is not an indication of what this submission is going to get. Let's just get to it. Let's get to the next one so that just make sure that that's an outlier and not something that we'll typically see. This is, I think, the Last Ronin, just standard cover A, number 1. Let's take a look. All right, 9.8, awesome. This is, yeah, just cover A. So the first issue, cover A, and man, Eastman really went to town on this. Pretty much drew all over the cover. So there you go, a 9.8 for this one. Not bad. Oh, kind of relieved. I don't even want to look at that one, 8.5. I don't know what I missed on that, but this is gorgeous. I've never had sort of this magazine style slab before, as it's pretty sturdy and oversized, pretty cool. And it looks like the remark that he's doing is pretty standard, so it's not really anything unique. And I do like the color of the signature, the choice there in kind of that teal or light green blue there. So there we have Last Ronin. I'm just going to cover that one up. That looks a lot better in the 8.5 there. All right, let's keep moving. And let's see the next one. We've got... the reason I'm hesitating is I think I have a second print in here, or there's a similar cover, but this should be, again, a cover A for Last Ronin number 1 and 9.4. Man, yeah, I don't know. A lot of my analysis of like, was it worth it, was really built on the fact that I thought these were 9.8s. So that's a little disappointing. It's really tough because these are supposed to be quite sturdy, and now I see right down here in the corner. Maybe I'll show a close-up photograph. There's just corner damage down here. Oh boy. Okay. Well, like with a lot of my CGC submissions, sometimes it's like every other book. Hopefully I'm not jinxing myself, but here we go. Here's the next one. Let's see what we have here. Now, I think this one was one of the later printings for Last Ronin number 1. All right, 9.8. Yep, so this is Last Ronin number 1. This is the third printing. I thought this would be cool because Eastman did the cover for this. So I thought that this would look really nice as he actually did the cover art. And this one looks very cool. I mean, he clearly just probably grabbed all of my books with the same pen. I didn't specify a color. I know if you're out there and you're aware of how the signature series process works, you can indicate maybe a preference. Like, I think maybe in a bright red pen, or like a light red, or even like a hot pink or something to maybe match the Last Ronin would have looked a little nicer. The other thing, unfortunately, is it's tough to see, but right here where there's a bit of glare, just kind of moving it back and forth, there's a bunch of scratches there. That's a good angle. There's a bunch of scratches and spots on the slab, so it's not a particularly attractive case for it. Of course, when it's far back here, you can't really tell, but when you're up close, there's just all of these like little scuffs to the front cover. So that's disappointing via CGC. All right, and then we've got the last one. Let's see what this one got. This one, rubber band off, is... And it got a 9.8. Okay, this is another... I had 3 of these. Okay, so I had 3 of the cover A's. And the case on this looks great. So, really nice copy. Last Ronin number 1 in a 9.8 with the remark. And you can see with all the remarks there, pretty standard, straightforward approach by Eastman. Didn't hit the 9.8 on all 5. A lot of my analysis was really predicated on these books getting a 9.8 with the signature, with the remark, and looking at the secondary market values, and that really drove my decision to send these books in. I did land 3 9.8s, which I'm happy about. The disappointing one is the 8.5. Like, even in a 9.4, you can make the case that you're really kind of purchasing the collectible in general and not specifically the grade. Obviously, the higher the grade, the more the value. The other thing, too, I wasn't really expecting a 9.9 or a 10, but sometimes these oversized card stock, just the almost like graphic novel structured comics. Sometimes it's just easier for them to get the high grade. That's why, I'm looking at an 8.5 and even the 9.4 and scratching my head. Now the 9.4 I can see very clearly has a blunted corner. So I either missed it or it got damaged in transit, but that one's pretty evident and clear. The 8.5, very surprised and unfortunate because that one was a convention exclusive. It was very limited, and I only had one other copy, and I sold it right after I purchased it, thinking to myself that I saved the better of the two copies. And who knows, maybe they both were damaged or I sold the wrong one. So that's a little disappointing. So I'm happy and disappointed at the same time. So mixed emotions, obviously. I'm not exactly sure how to really feel or react. Looking at these, I would say that my favorite, just how they turned out, is probably the third print, but the case is scuffed. It's like, just when you think, oh, I could find some happiness with this process, ultimately, still, it's like something's just not allowing it to be. And now I have to consider whether or not I want to send that case back to CGC because it's all scuffed. So I'll have to look at the other cases and see if I want to submit a mechanical error. And when you do that, CGC is pretty good about honoring your request. I think you can send them a photo and they'll go ahead and approve it. But I really wanted to be done with this and put some closure on this, I was going to say epic saga. It's really just kind of a saga at this point. Trying to be happy with the 9/8, but overall, I would say the whole process was underwhelming. And as I look around at some of my other Signature Series books, yes, I'm kind of proud of the ones that I did send in, but they're few and far between. I might consider just looking for already signed slabs if I really truly want to collect Signature Series slabs. One of the great things about buying them with the yellow label and already encased is the grade, the creators that signed it, and you can actually look at the signature placement, remark, design, pen color, and so forth. And it's already slabbed. And I think with just the amount of trouble and anxiety and worry that I had through this very, very expensive process, I honestly don't think I would do it again. And if I had a chance, start to finish, to do it all over again, I wouldn't. I would have rather saved the money that I paid for this entire thing, this entire scenario, and just bought a cover A signed outright, maybe even with a cool remark, and then maybe another Ninja Turtle key or something. I would have felt like I spent my money more wisely if I had done that. Let me know if you believe in the theory, too, of the fact that once it's signed and encased, it really is just kind of the collectible around the creator and the book itself and not so much about the grade. I don't personally believe that, but there is part of me that wants to accept that and just kind of believe that so I can be happy with all 5 of these with their grades. But it's really tough for the price I paid to get an 8.5. Thanks for watching, happy collecting, and see you next time.